but we have with us a very possibly unusual partner in the South African National Space Agency. And the reality is that data crosses human borders, artificial borders, and we are actually needing to span from underground to space. And we run the risk of collecting data for the sake of data and not quite knowing what we need to do with it. And how do we turn space-delivered data and technical and institutional structures into trusted operational value add for the mining sector, not only the mining industry?
Thank you for that, Julie. I think the important thing is, in space applications and related to mining, when you use these tools, you want it to add value. So, using Earth observation data in terms of the algorithms you use, you want to co-create it. There's no sense in you using EO data just to create a decision support tool. At the end of the day, it must be meaningful. I think using Earth observation data, the mining sector wants to see a return of investment. What value do we get? Because often Earth observation data, especially your high resolution data, is costly. So from SANSA's perspective, if we can show them that in terms of using high resolution data for monitoring deformation, your hyperspectral sensors before catastrophic events can occur, the satellite picks up minute disturbances in your mining tailings dams. Similarly, in terms of rehabilitation, before and after, there's a lot of environmental governance regulations in terms of mining. Sensors aiming to develop a decision support tool that looks at before and after to guide your mine regulators and decision makers that these basically your regulations are taken into consideration. If you look at mineral exploration using high resolution data to determine what type of minerals are there before underground digging starts, and then you end up with barren lands. So I think the potential to use Earth observation data is vast, but SANSA's role is to show your return on investment in terms of your governance. I think your spatial data infrastructure, your data sharing, we need to work with other relevant organizations to ensure that data is procured, it's shared, the standards linked to it. Some people see that you do not have enough skilled force, but the approach that SANSA is taking, partnering with universities, historically disadvantaged universities, trying to build that skills pipeline to ensure that we have graduates that can analyze the data and support the mining industry. So I think it's a combination of factors. Technically, in terms of satellite passes, the revisit times, maybe it's not soon enough for mine operators. Then you can also talk about resolution. Sometimes, even though satellite data is very high resolution, you can monitor distinct operations, but maybe for minute, tailings subsidence, entities don't want to use them. Mining focus primarily on safety, and you get that cultural perspective that because it's safety, we rather use ground-based measurements instead of relying on EO data. You get that cultural preference.
Dr. Moefe, I'm going to come back to you as the DSTI. How does the DSTI approach skills development? I'm thinking about the decadal plan. I'm thinking about the new circular economy strategy that you are running.
So what we do as a department is we don't just do things for the sake of doing them today, but we always think about tomorrow. So when you look at any of our programs where we provide funding, at least we want 30% of the allocation that we give to go towards skills development. So it could either be funding students or whatever, and that is to make sure that when all is said and done, we don't run a risk tomorrow of saying, oh, yes, we were running this program, but now these professors are now 70 years old and we don't have any replacement. The other critical aspect is also looking at our program on internships. So we've got a big internship program that is being run through the HSRC, advertised every year, and we look at science graduates who can then be placed in various relevant areas of work where they basically can start to prepare themselves for entry into the market, whether it is industry or government. So it is quite important for us, and it links to the point that I think Dr. Masilimule raised about what do we want to do when at some point mining stops. And that's really where, again, the aspect of secularization comes that you referred to. It's beginning to pick the pieces and look at this aspect of the circular economy not just as something which is about cleaning the environment, but as an economy on its own. We, for example, have got opportunities around what we call the urban mining, whether it's about reclaiming critical minerals from the e-waste, whether it is about what you can actually get from the water systems like your sewerage and stuff like that.
And for mining technologies, we have the proper process in place to actually safeguard that mine. So it's very important that we have responsibility for the future, have profits now, but we would want people to take all the minerals away and leave a mining down there that's going to impact the people. So we look at all of that to protect the people, we protect the future,